Well, thanks so much for joining us, everybody, as we are set to take a look at the premier race of the Presque Isle Downs Meet the Presque Isle Downs Masters, a grade two event for the fillies and mares at 6.5 furlongs. And so happy to welcome back Patrick Morell, our man on the scene, for what should be a great day of racing. And again, we have to remind you, don't forget that starting in race number 5, we have that $5,000 hit it and split it promotion for the late pick 5. If you're opted in and you hit it, in addition to the pool, you're going to share in an additional $5,000. So be sure to be opted in and play that pick 5 in all of the races at Presque Isle Downs with us at Twin Spires. As we mentioned here, Patrick, the grade 2 Presque Isle Downs Masters, and what a great field you guys got for this race, a field of 11. The conversation has to start with Caravelle. This one coming in for Brad Cox. She has just been so good. Turf, synthetic, unbeaten over the synthetic surface. I mean, her win over at Turfway Park this winter really opened up my eyes, and she's had obviously a spectacular campaign, including a win in the Grade 3 Intercontinental at Belmont. Just so many things you could say positive about this filly. She's obviously the horse to beat.
No question about it. And it's just such a great story about this filly. And a lot of people probably don't know it. The breeder, Lizzie Merriman brought this horse up. She's won a couple stakes races here before. Obviously, this horse was sold privately, transferred over to Brad Cox. But the mare, ZZ Zoom Zoom, was literally given to her. She bred the mare to Miz and Mast. Look what she comes up with, a horse now. It's a Mast, $647,000 lifetime. She's an absolute stone cold runner. She loved the synthetic. She's 3 for 3 over the Tapeta surfaces, 2 for 2 here at Presque Isle. And then she had that win, as you just spoke about, at Turfway Park in the Queen Bee. She dominated that night. I talked to Brad Cox this morning. I just got off the phone with him just a little bit ago. And I asked him, I said, Brad, tell me about this filly. How's she doing? I said, I was a little concerned with the race on July 23rd in the Caress. He said, throw it out. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. He said she broke a little bit slow. She got pinched. That was it. Throw the race out. She comes back in the Smart and Fancy, and she wins there. And what I love the most about her, Darin, was about 70 yards out, 50 yards out, she just pins her ears. She digs down deep, as we say in the horse racing business. She laid her belly on the ground, and she just kept rolling. I love seeing it in these fillies and mares. They just get aggressive like that, and you know they're good horses. She has a great resume, no question about that. And she's even run well against the boys. Take a look at her in the Highlander last August at Woodbine. She ran against the boys. That's a grade 1. Ends up running third, only beat a length and 3/4.
Yeah, absolutely. She's clearly the horse to beat in here. No doubt about it. She's going to hook up again with, I guess she's going to develop a little bit of a rivalry with Change of Control, who tried to chase her down last time out at Saratoga, came up a half a length short in what was a real strong effort. Michelle Lovell's really turned this mare into quite a nice turf sprinter. But unlike Caravelle, the synthetic surface is a bit of an unknown. Now, there's that common conception that horses that run well over turf typically do run well over synthetic. But I'll be honest, Patrick, we have some horses ourselves that we own that they're better on turf than synthetic. They can get over the surface, but they're not quite as good. So it does remain to be seen if Change of Control can carry that form as good over to the Presque Isle surface.
No question about that, Darin. I think that's an excellent point you just made. I had a text message interview basically with Michelle just a little while ago, and she said that she's very confident in her horse to go ahead and beat Caravelle here. And I asked her why, and she said that she just really thought she had a rough trip last time in the Smart and Fancy. She thinks if she gets a better trip, she's going to beat Caravelle and turn the tables. And I do agree with you, though. FedBiz by Giants Causeway, they do well over this surface, no question about it. That is the misnomer. That is the thing that we need to really consider. Can she get over this Tapeta surface? It's a very fair racetrack here. There are days where we have a little bit of a bias, but for the most part, it's very fair. And most of the time, we do have turf horses that run extremely well on it. You touched on that just a minute ago. That's a great point. But this horse also has a nice resume. And I'll tell you what I really like, she ran in grade 1 company against the boys in the Jump 4 handicap at Belmont. She only got beat 3 lengths. Manny Franco was in the irons that day. She came right back. She won the next stake, the Andy Guest at Colonial. Obviously the betting favorite, $1.40 to 1 that day. And then we obviously saw her run against Caravelle, but Caravelle was just so game that afternoon. I don't know, even if she would have had a better trip, she may have come up to engage her. I think Caravelle would have repelled her.
No questions about the synthetic surface for the Ontario bred, and that is Artie's Princess coming down for Safi Joseph. This horse obviously is a proven commodity over synthetic surface up in Canada. Question, though, coming in off, I guess, what you would consider to be a somewhat disappointing effort. Now, this mare does seem to be the speed of the speed in this race. That might have been the case last time, but she got pushed through some pretty quick fractions and paid the price late. Can she find her way to the front and manage to take this field wire to wire?
Excellent question coming up. Let me put it this way. There's an absolute plethora of speed in this race. There's no question about it. And as you know, Darin, I literally know everybody that's stayed here on the backside. And if you take a look at the 10-horse Boo Boo Kitty, Kevin Rice won the Satin and Lace last time out. Nobody really gave him any shot last time. I know he's going to go on the engine. Adiel Ayala, the jockey here, they're going on the engine. They're going to challenge this horse on the front end. There's going to be a ton of speed going forward. I think it's going to eat her up. I really do. I think she's going to get eaten up on the front end.
So one horse that I like a bit and remains to be seen if she can challenge the top two, but I think, again, at a price is worth considering. Jenny B going out on the barn change here to Mike Stidham, which I think is rather interesting. Cam Gambelotti, of course, is a trainer that we know from long ago with the likes of Spend a Buck.
Correct.
Doesn't exactly have the biggest stable now. Mike Stidham certainly does run more horses, so it's an interesting barn change. This horse coming up from a couple of turf tries at Colonial, including second to Change of Control, who she faces here in this event on the turf. But she does have some decent races over the synthetic, both here and overseas. I think if she could work out a trip in a stalking spot mid-pack, she might be able to find her way onto the table.
I don't disagree whatsoever. You take a look in the Royal North. She ran fifth. Yes, you see the 5 there, but she was only beat a length. She ran second in the Long Branch prior to that, and she was second in the Royal North. Only got beat a nose the year prior. This horse can run a little bit. She's starting to get a little bit of age on her, as some of these mares are, but she's still incredibly competitive at this level. She ran well last time out at Colonial. She is going to have to step it up, but she may be the benefactor of a crazy pace scenario on the front end. Like I said, there's so much speed in this race that it's unbelievable. Some a little bit more than others, but I know one of the horses here from Presque is going to go on the engine, and she's going to hit the gas pedal, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah, certainly is a great deal of speed. It's Caravel, the horse to beat. Obviously, Patrick Morell landing in that corner, loves that particular mare against Change of Control. While I'm in agreement with him on who the mare to beat is, I'm going to try Jenny B at a price. So thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Don't forget about that $5,000. Hit it and split it in the late pick 5 at Presque beginning in race 5. Play it with us at Twin Spires. And again, we'll see you around next time.